So Andy, I'm a U.S. citizen, and I'm hearing all these things about the opening of Cuba, and I want to go see it for myself before it changes, like people say.
Right.
So how can I travel there?
Well, right now it's easier to travel. We don't know from Friday on what's going to happen because we know on Friday President Trump's going to announce some sort of throwback Obama's executive order, so we have to wait and see. But until Friday, we know that there are 12 exceptions that you can apply for. And when I say you can apply for, you don't actually need to apply anymore, which is
Right.
the cool thing about it. You just have to identify one of those exceptions that meet that exception, and then travel to Cuba with a visa that is given to you by the Cuban government under that exception. And you are supposed to stay in Cuba or do the things that would advance that exception during your stay. For
Right.
example, one of the exceptions would be to support cultural groups and organizations in Cuba. So when you go
Right.
to Cuba, that's what you should be doing. You shouldn't be doing tourism. You shouldn't be doing things that are not supposed to be advanced by that particular section.
So talk to me about tourism, because there's tourism all over the world, and what if I want to go be a tourist in Cuba?
Right. Well, not in the United States, right? If you're a U.S. citizen, you're not permitted to do that by U.S. law. We know that some people, what's happening is that some people identify one of the exceptions and they go and they start
Right.
engaging in activities that are not related to that.
It's pretty lax right now, but tourism itself, like pure
Right.
tourism, is still
Well,
not allowed.
It's not, and some people say the exceptions are not really working out because it's not advancing the policy. It's just like a makeup because people, U.S. citizens are going are engaging in tourism. But the reality is that we still have many laws that are in play to avoid to prevent these people from actually engaging in actual tourism in Cuba.
Right.
Like financial restrictions still on credit cards and use of debit cards and use of money. And
Right.
everyone who goes to Cuba has a limit of how much they can spend per day in Cuba.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
And they
I've heard
cannot
that.
spend more than that. And if they do and the United States government finds out about it, they will be fined up to $10,000 for violating that law.
So it makes it difficult for everyone, but just basically the people that are going under qualifying exemptions to do the work that they say they're going to do. It's probably worth it more to probably not be able to make these transactions, but they still go to advance their mission. And someone who's just going on vacation would say it's too complicated, it's too difficult, and maybe might not take that route to try to go under one of the exemptions. But really, they just want to be a tourist.
Right. I just encourage anyone who's going to go to Cuba, listen to Friday, and we know that it can happen.
Yeah.
To engage with the Cuban people. I mean, the law isn't there for a reason. It is advancing a public policy, not only of the United States, but something that is beneficial and good for the Cuban people. So just when you go to Cuba, don't seclude yourself. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to go to a hotel and be with other people who are from other countries. You're supposed to go out and meet people and talk to regular Cubans and inquire about their lives and exchange with them. That exchange component is what is driving this 12 exemptions.
Yeah, I always say that. So I mean, when I went last year to Cuba for under the exemption of humanitarian projects through Inspire Cuba, we actually went, and yeah, I didn't have to actually be approved and apply for the exemption, but I just when I came back, I filled out a paper in customs of that's why I went, and they were pretty lax about the whole thing, but I was there to advance that mission. But aside from the humanitarian work that I was doing, just engaging with the locals, that was so beneficial to me. But I feel like the component of engagement and the exposure that they get just from seeing an American, and a Cuban American at that, is life changing for them, and
Right.
can really drive change. And so I think that the exemptions are there for a reason, and I think it's great that they are and allow us to travel in that capacity, not necessarily as tourists, but as people going to engage
Right.
with this community.
Right.
Awesome. All right, guys. Hope that was helpful. Stay tuned for more videos.
All right.
Thanks a
Thank
lot,
you.
Andy.
All right.